doctors reveal the kidney number that predicts future dialysis. Right now, millions of people are walking around with perfectly normal energy levels, clear skin, and no pain, yet their kidneys are already half gone. Kidney disease is one of the only conditions that hides in plain sight. The body feels fine while the filters inside are breaking down bit by bit. And all it takes to see it coming is a single test, one number that silently predicts your future health. Doctors call this kidney number the estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR. It may look like just another line on a report, but it tells the most important story of how your kidneys are working now and what lies ahead. This number measures how much blood your kidneys clean every minute. Each tiny filter inside your kidneys, called a nephron, works like a fine mesh sieve, catching waste products and returning clean fluid to the body. When these filters begin to weaken, cleaning slows and toxins start to linger in your bloodstream. The lower the eGFR number, the slower the cleaning process becomes. Imagine your kidneys as two washing machines running day and night. eGFR tells you how fast those machines are spinning. When the spin is strong, waste is removed easily and the system runs smoothly. But as the spin slows, dirt begins to accumulate in the water. The same thing happens inside your body. Slow filtration allows waste products, acid, and excess fluid to remain in your blood longer than they should. That hidden buildup is what slowly damages tissues and organs throughout the body. A healthy adult has an eGFR of 90 or higher. That means the kidneys are filtering blood at full strength. When the number drops between 60 and 89, it signals a mild decline. The kidneys are still working but starting to show signs of strain. When it falls between 30 and 59, moderate damage has already begun. Toxins are piling up faster than they can be cleared. Below 15, the filters are barely functioning, and dialysis often becomes the only way to clean the blood. These numbers may seem small, but the difference between 60 and 45 can be the difference between recovery and lifelong treatment. A 2022 report from the National Kidney Foundation found that people whose eGFR dropped below 45 were nearly 20 times more likely to start dialysis within 5 years than those with higher eGFR levels. That number carries a chilling message. It means that the speed at which your kidneys clean your blood can predict the likelihood of kidney failure long before symptoms even appear. For many people, this warning sign appears years before dialysis becomes necessary, but it often goes unnoticed or misunderstood. Before we move on, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If you're working to naturally ease kidney problems, make sure to subscribe to Kidnease and turn on notifications. And if this content helps you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I want to keep improving for you. The most important thing to understand is that eGFR is not a fixed number. It changes with lifestyle, hydration, blood pressure, diet, and even sleep quality. Just as the washing machine can spin faster after maintenance, your kidneys can regain strength when given the right support. The goal is not just to know your number, but to protect it, to help it move upward instead of down. So, what truly causes this number to drop in the first place? What are the hidden triggers that quietly slow down the kidney's natural rhythm? The kidney number does not fall overnight. It slips slowly, often without pain or warning. Every drop in eGFR reflects years of silent strain happening deep inside the filters. These filters are delicate networks of vessels that clean the blood, but they are not built to handle constant abuse. They are designed for balance, not battle. And when that balance breaks, the number begins to fall. One of the biggest hidden threats is high blood sugar. When sugar stays in the blood for too long, it starts attaching to proteins and blood vessel walls, creating sticky deposits. This process makes the vessels stiff and narrow, blocking the smooth flow of blood through the kidneys. With less oxygen reaching the filters, they begin to weaken and scar. Over time, this gradual suffocation reduces their ability to effectively clean the blood. Every sugar spike is like a silent burn that leaves a small mark on the kidneys, and those marks add up. High blood pressure is another powerful enemy. Each surge in pressure pushes against the microscopic filters, stretching and damaging their thin walls. Imagine those filters as soft fabric screens. Every time pressure rises, it hits them like a hammer. The fabric begins to tear and the holes grow larger. Over the years, this constant pounding makes it harder for the kidneys to filter waste, allowing toxins to leak into the bloodstream. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that consistently controlling blood pressure can cut the rate of kidney decline by as much as 50%. That means half of all kidney damage could be avoided if blood pressure stayed within a healthy range. Yet millions of people live for years with silent hypertension, unaware of the slow destruction happening inside. Inflammation and oxidative stress add another layer of damage. These are like small fires that never go out. They burn quietly inside the kidney tissue, fueled by processed food, lack of sleep, and constant stress. These flames slowly destroy the healthy structure of the filters, replacing them with scar tissue that can no longer clean blood. When this damage spreads, the kidney's overall capacity drops, and so does the eGFR. Even small daily habits can have an unexpected impact. Many people rely on painkillers to ease headaches or joint pain without realizing that regular use of certain over-the-counter drugs puts extra strain on the kidneys. These medicines restrict blood flow to the filters, making them work under stress. Dehydration makes things worse. When the body runs low on water, blood becomes thicker and waste moves sluggishly. The kidneys have to push harder to clean it, wearing out in the process. These triggers often work together. High sugar thickens the blood, high pressure hammers the filters, and inflammation burns what is left. The result is a steady decline that continues year after year, even when symptoms are still invisible. But this decline is not destiny. It can be slowed, even reversed, if the right steps are taken. If these are the forces that break the kidneys down, then what can protect and even rebuild them from within? Here is the turning point. What raises the number again? The decline does not have to continue forever. For many people, especially in the early stages of kidney disease, the number that once dropped can begin to rise again. The body has a quiet power to repair itself when it is given the right conditions. Even the tired kidney filters can start to recover if the daily pressure on them is lifted. The biggest shift begins with food. Studies show that people who adopt plant-rich eating patterns, such as the dietary approaches to stop hypertension, DASH, or Mediterranean diet, experience measurable improvements in kidney function. In a Johns Hopkins University study, patients who adopted a plant-forward diet saw an average increase in eGFR of 3 to 5 points within 6 months. This may sound small, but it can mean the difference between early-stage disease and full recovery. Plant foods flood the body with antioxidants that cool inflammation, reduce acid load, and ease the burden on the kidney filters. Unlike heavy animal proteins that create more waste for the kidneys to remove, plants deliver nutrients that cleanse and protect. Sodium reduction plays an equally powerful role. Most people consume around 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, often without realizing it. The safe range for protecting the kidneys is under 2,300 milligrams. Excess salt traps water in the bloodstream, raising pressure and forcing the kidneys to work harder with every heartbeat. When sodium intake drops, the kidneys rest, blood pressure stabilizes, and filtration begins to improve. Each small change, choosing fresh foods over processed ones or skipping the salt shaker, becomes a quiet act of healing. Potassium-rich foods can also help, as long as they are safe for the individual's condition. Potassium balances sodium levels and relaxes blood vessels, allowing smoother blood flow through the kidneys. Bananas, oranges, spinach, and beans all help ease that internal strain. This balance gives the filters room to recover, helping the body regain control over its internal chemistry. Hydration is another key to recovery, though often overlooked. Even mild dehydration can temporarily lower eGFR by up to 15%. Think of what happens when a river runs low. Debris settles, flow slows, and the water becomes stagnant. The same happens in the bloodstream. Without enough fluid, the kidneys cannot efficiently push out waste. Drinking enough water each day helps the filters move more freely, wash away toxins, and maintain steady function. For those in early-stage kidney disease, especially stages 2 and 3, this recovery is not just possible, but realistic. The filters that remain healthy can grow stronger when the surrounding stressors are reduced. With time, scarred areas stabilize, circulation improves, and the filtration rate begins to climb. Picture your kidneys as two small engines clearing out the bloodstream. Each healthy choice, every vegetable, every glass of water, every calm heartbeat helps them spin a little faster, clean a little better, and lift that number higher. But food and water alone are not the whole story. There is something deeper that determines whether healing truly begins or not. It is not found in a lab result or a diet plan. It starts in a place far more personal. Even before diet, there is one mistake that determines whether your kidneys heal or continue to fail, and it hides in your mindset. The biggest mistake most people make is trusting their feelings instead of their numbers. The kidneys are silent workers. They do not send alarms or cause pain until most of their function is already gone. That is why kidney disease is often called the quiet destroyer. A person can feel perfectly fine while losing more and more filtering power each month without realizing it. Many people live with an eGFR of around 50 and still feel healthy, full of energy, and free from symptoms. They eat, work, and sleep as usual, never suspecting that half of their kidney function is already lost. Then one day, a routine checkup reveals the truth, and the shock is overwhelming. By then, the filters have already sustained years of damage. The tragedy is not that the problem exists, but that it could have been caught much earlier. Kidney disease rarely hurts until it is almost over. That is what makes it so dangerous. Relying on symptoms instead of numbers is like driving with a blindfold, hoping everything will stay fine. The only reliable signal comes from regular testing. A simple blood test once a year can reveal changes in eGFR long before any pain or swelling begins. That one step could give someone a head start of 5 to 10 years before dialysis risk ever appears. According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, early detection can delay or prevent 90% of kidney failure cases. 90%. That means most people who end up on dialysis could have avoided it if the problem had been found early enough. It takes only a few minutes to check, but that test can rewrite a person's future. Knowing your kidney number is not about fear, it is about power. It allows you to take control before the damage becomes irreversible, because when you catch it early, you still have time to turn things around. If you're finding this helpful so far, please take a second to like this video. It may seem small, but it tells YouTube that this message matters and helps kidneys reach more people who truly need it. If you believe others deserve this knowledge too, tap that thumbs up now. Now let's understand how to read your eGFR report. For a healthy young adult, an eGFR of 90 or higher is normal. As the years pass, this number naturally declines because the kidneys, like every organ, gradually lose some efficiency. For someone in their 60s or 70s, an eGFR around 70 may still be considered normal if it remains stable and the person feels well. What matters most is not just the number itself, but how quickly it changes. A gentle, steady decline is part of aging. A sudden drop, however, signals trouble that should never be ignored. The eGFR is closely linked to another key measure in your blood, creatinine. Creatinine is a waste product formed when muscles break down energy. Healthy kidneys remove it easily. But when the filters slow down, creatinine begins to build up in the bloodstream. The higher your creatinine level, the lower your eGFR tends to be. It is the body's natural warning sign that your filters are not keeping up with the cleaning job. Interpreting these results becomes much easier when you know what to look for. If your eGFR falls by more than 5 points in a single year, that is a red flag. It means the decline is faster than what aging alone would cause. Something is actively damaging your kidneys, and it needs to be addressed quickly. On the other hand, if your eGFR rises even slightly, that is a sign of healing. It shows that your kidneys are responding positively to changes in diet, hydration, or blood pressure control. Think of your eGFR like the mileage meter in your car. The higher the number, the longer and smoother your kidneys can go before they need a major repair. The lower it gets, the shorter the distance they can travel without problems. Keeping that number steady or gently rising is like maintaining your car through regular service. It prevents breakdowns and keeps everything running smoothly. Yet eGFR alone does not tell the entire story. There is another number on your lab report that quietly reveals how much damage has already begun and whether the kidneys are leaking precious proteins. There is another signal that reveals what is really happening inside your kidneys, and it hides in your urine test. It is called the Albumin-Creatinine Ratio, or ACR. Think of it as the kidney's leak test. It shows whether your filters are holding strong or starting to let precious proteins slip through. Healthy kidneys keep all the useful proteins in the blood, recycling them again and again. When those filters become damaged, small amounts of protein begin to leak into the urine, a sign that the filter walls are weakening. Even a small trace of protein in the urine is not harmless. It means that the kidneys are no longer filtering the bloodstream properly. This leakage puts stress on the surrounding tissue, speeds up scarring, and signals a higher risk of kidney failure. Research has shown that even tiny amounts of albumin in urine can double the risk of needing dialysis in the future. It is one of the earliest warnings that kidney damage is already underway, long before eGFR starts to fall. The danger grows when both numbers, eGFR and ACR, move in the wrong direction. A study from the Mayo Clinic found that people with low eGFR and high ACR were 54 times more likely to need dialysis within 10 years compared to those with normal readings. 54 times. That is not just a difference, it is a completely different future. These two numbers together form a complete picture of kidney health. One shows how fast the blood is being cleaned, the other shows whether the filters are leaking during the process. Relying on a single test is like checking your car's oil but ignoring the engine temperature. You need both to understand how well the system is running. The combination of eGFR and ACR can reveal problems early, often years before symptoms begin. Knowing both gives you the power to act while there is still time to heal. But once the problem is spotted, how can those delicate filters be protected from further harm? Healing the kidneys is not about one big change. It is about many small decisions that build up over time. Each healthy choice helps ease the pressure on those tiny filters and gives them a chance to recover. The path to prevention and reversal is not out of reach. It begins with simple, consistent actions that anyone can take. Start by keeping blood sugar and blood pressure within a healthy range. These two forces are the biggest protectors of kidney health. When blood sugar remains stable, the delicate blood vessels in the kidneys remain flexible and open, allowing smooth filtration. When blood pressure is controlled, those same vessels avoid the constant pounding that causes them to scar. Every day that your pressure and sugar stay balanced, your kidneys breathe easier. Hydration is another silent healer. The kidneys depend on a steady water flow to flush waste products and regulate mineral balance. Even mild dehydration makes the blood thicker, forcing the filters to work harder. Choose water as your main drink and avoid sugary beverages, which strain the body and spike insulin. Each glass of clean water helps clear toxins, supports circulation, and keeps the filters moving freely. Food choices can either heal or harm. Reducing salt and processed food gives the kidneys a break from constant overload. High-sodium meals trap water in the bloodstream, raising pressure and forcing the kidneys to work harder. Processed meats and snacks add preservatives that create extra waste. Replacing them with fresh vegetables, beans, and whole grains restores balance and reduces acid buildup. Limit red meat and replace it with lighter protein sources like lentils, fish, or eggs. These are easier for the kidneys to process and create fewer byproducts. Supporting circulation through gentle, daily movement also matters. A brisk walk, a short stretch, or light yoga can increase blood flow to the kidneys, helping them filter more efficiently. It is not about intense workouts, but steady movement that keeps oxygen flowing. Add foods rich in antioxidants, such as berries, citrus fruits, and turmeric. These nutrients act as shields, protecting the filters from oxidative stress and slowing the wear and tear that causes scarring. Work closely with your doctor to track progress. Monitoring eGFR every 3 to 6 months helps spot changes early and assess how well your lifestyle is working. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, with consistent care, 70% of people with stage 3 chronic kidney disease never progress to dialysis. That means the majority have the power to stop the decline before it becomes irreversible. Every healthy choice you make pushes dialysis further into the distance. Every point of improvement in your number means your kidneys are fighting back, growing stronger and more resilient. You are not just maintaining a number, you are reclaiming control over your body's most vital filters. If this video was helpful, please don't leave without subscribing to Kidnease. And if you feel like I truly understood your struggle and offered a solution that matters, type the word relief in the comments. I'd love to know if this helped you.